Hello. Thank you
Hey,
so much for joining us for the pre-interview before the Pune World Book Day. We would
thank you,
like
Devangi.
we would like to get to know more about you so that the audience is more anticipatory to know what the speaker is going to talk about, who the speaker is, and everything. If you can just brief us about your educational background, how did your journey start?
I'm an engineer, and after that, I've done my MBA. Many a times, I tell people that publishing happened accidentally, but after I now look back, I think there's a journey
Right,
which took me here.
right.
After engineering, worked in manufacturing briefly, and then I moved to MBA and started working in ITS. In ITS, we were working into digitization.
Okay,
So that's where I first got in touch with international publishers and
right,
content processing.
right.
And then I started working in magazines. I happened to join Sakal. I was given a responsibility of books publishing,
Okay.
and that's where I'm here now, looking after
Wow.
the division.
Oh, wow. So you're really from scratch, ground up person who is now heading the Sakal Publishing department.
If you want to put that way, but rather I would say that I'm more of a business person
Right.
than who has worked on the ground. And
Hmm.
after taking over the charge of Sakal Prakashan, I started working on the ground.
Huh.
You could say that.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. So then if you can briefly tell us about what all does your work entail as a publishing head of Sakal?
So as a division, running the division, it's running like a business unit within a larger organization.
Correct.
So I'm responsible for the complete P&L and balance sheet of the division.
Right.
That given, I look after the complete value chain. If
Right.
someone can understand these terms, that means right from talking to the authors,
Okay.
getting the manuscripts,
Correct.
or authors approach us and deciding whether to publish the author or no.
Correct.
From that decision to working on the product, how the product should look,
Hmm.
what should be the paper, who
Right.
should print it, working on the purchases,
Correct.
reaching out to the customer, and then the whole value chain comes into it. For reaching out to the customer, we need warehouses, we need distribution, we need to have our network with booksellers, we should be there on Amazon.in. And to manage all this, there is a back processing, which we have an independent team, we do accounting. So if you see, if someone has to understand what I do, it's the complete value chain I serve.
So what would you say your top three, top two moments are when you really fell in love with your job, when you thought that I've reached the right place, right? Like from engineering and MBA, but now I'm here.
The journey of Sakal Publications, Sakal Prakashan started from a book called Ayurvedic Garbha Sanskar, written by Shri Dr. Balaji Tambe.
Right.
So the challenge was that it was a great product, and how can we reach to maximum number of readers? How can we realize the complete potential of that product? And that's where the journey started. And selling Ayurvedic Garbha Sanskar, or other, I would say, from Mr. Abhijit Pawar's vision, if I say, shaping generations of newborn babies and mothers who are healthy, who are who have a upbringing
Right.
which is spiritually grounded, and that I think is a great contribution, and that is something which has been a very exciting journey. And from that, started getting added, more books started coming, we started interacting with great authors, we got more opportunity to engage with our readers, enrich their lives. Sakal is the only organization which runs a agricultural newspaper, a daily newspaper in the world.
Oh, okay.
We cater that to the farmers.
Right.
So when I started the publishing journey, agriculture content targeted to farmers became a very interesting aspect of my job. There was so much to learn and so much to give. And when I used to manage stalls in the early days in agriculture exhibitions with my books, there was so much of joy which I got from the curiosity and the interest that readers and the farmers were taking in the books, and giving positive feedbacks that the books have helped them
Correct.
Agro One, our newspaper, was helping them, enriching their lives.
Right.
But at the same time, we were able to take that contribution forward through our books as well. So that is the initial part of that publishing experience is something I think which will be there always with me.
That is true. That is so interesting. I don't think many readers or even the audience who will be watching this interview would know about Agro One, but because of you now, we know and we will go and read about it. Is Sakal more inclined? I mean, given the history and legacy of Sakal publishing, is Sakal more inclined to publish books written on spirituality and more to do with non-fiction, or do you make sure that there is an equal balance between fiction as well as non-fiction books?
When I started this journey,
Right.
I said we had the legacy of Sakal brand. At the same time, we had the legacy. Ayurvedic Garbha Samskar was already published. And
Right.
it was a ready product which was given to me to drive.
Correct.
And I saw that for me, the definition of a book became a book that can change every reader's life and make it better. We do self-improvement books. We do biographies,
Right.
human interest stories, which can help someone improve their life.
Correct.
Inspirations. I said major part we do health and agriculture.
Right.
So yes, we do a lot of non-fiction. Is because when I started this journey, I saw that the reach of Sakal is wide. It's wider than book reader community.
Correct.
So the real challenge or the real purpose of Sakal publications will be to reach out to non-readers who will read a book because they want to excel or get some insight which will help them professionally.
And does I mean, do you, after you came into this role, has Sakal done any extracurricular activities wherein you are encouraging readers or maybe taking workshops, or where you're actively doing something to add more readers to the community?
Yeah. So from last 3 years, we have started also doing fiction and poems.
Okay.
We are exploring all genres.
Right.
But fiction and poems started with our initiative called Anyone Can Publish.
Okay.
This initiative that we started 3 years back is basically to bridge the gap between the writers and the publishers. It's a sole objective of enriching the experience of the authors. Not always every author will know how to publish a book and get it to the reader.
True.
And at the same time, their experience during this journey, even if they want to self-publish the book, is they don't get a lot of support. So through Anyone Can Publish, we decided that we need to bridge this gap. And I always believe that the reading culture will grow if they get a lot of new material to read, a lot of new books to read.
Correct.
And we are in a position to facilitate authors to get published,
Right.
reach out to wide audience.
Right.
And that is something that over the last 3 years we have been doing. And in this journey, we have done a lot of fiction and poetry.
That is lovely. But then turning to your personal preferences, what do you like to read in your downtime?
I have been on and off reading a lot. Something that I started reading Ayn Rand in college days, Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged. I had to reread Ayn Rand. I must have reread Ayn Rand twice. That means I have read Ayn Rand 3 times.
Yeah.
And she is one of the most influential authors who has influenced me in early life. The second best author of mine is Isaac Asimov.
Oh.
I like science fictions.
Okay.
That's my interest area. But that doesn't mean I don't read other books. I happen to read White Tiger by Arvind Adiga just because wanted to understand. One day I wanted to understand what makes a Booker Prize winner. So I also read Arundhati Roy for the basic reason that I wanted to understand what goes in a book to receive a Booker's award. I recently read Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. But for that book, I used After reading the book, I also bought a audiobook to
Right.
grasp the subject.
Right.
So many times I do read out of the interest of the subject, but
Correct.
Dallin Kahneman was more of a interest in statistics and decision making. It was part of a study, that's why I read. So I nowadays I keep I consume a lot of books through audiobooks.
Right. It's easier for you.
Yeah,
Because
so
you're on the move.
Yeah, so I on an average I do read around 15 to 20 books through audiobooks
Oh,
a year.
nice. According to you, what do you think are the top three non-fiction genres in Marathi language that are very popular today?
As I said, human interest stories
Right.
are very popular.
Hmm.
Translations of non-fiction books are very popular. Basically self-improvement books. And for me, from my catalog, agriculture books are one of the best sellers, selling books. But if you go by the industry, it's because not all publishers publish agriculture books.
Correct.
These are the major two non-fiction categories, and then self-improvement is a very wider category. There are many sub-genres in it, which you can then classify as another genres.
Correct.
I think children non-fiction has a lot of scope, and Marathi is deprived of good quality children non-fiction.
But if I mean, I'm sure there will be a lot of authors listening to you. What are some topics that maybe come to your mind when you say children non-fiction books?
Interesting. History books written for children. Biographies written for children.
Correct.
Children require a different style, approach. All the genres which help adults grow,
Correct.
become a better person,
Correct.
are the same genres which a child should also
Correct.
get.
That is so true. Very interesting. What do you think constitutes a good book for you? I mean, if you are a reader and you are wanting to pick something up, what will you be inclined towards?
Something that makes me a better person at the end of reading the book. In terms of knowledge, maybe. In terms of a better human being. In terms of understanding a part of culture which I didn't have an understanding of. A person grows better in many ways, by understanding the society, by understanding people, how people think, being sensitive to their to them. So there are so many things that you can take from a book.
Correct.
So I think I'll always prefer a book which helps me become a better person. And other quality of a book that interests me is the imagination of the author. How vivid the imagination is. Does the author take me to a different world altogether which I have not experienced otherwise? And of course, the imagination, with imagination comes the basic quality of the author of being curious in exploring the topic.
Correct.
So these are the main qualities of a book.
Correct. So true. Coming back to the sort of not business aspect of it, but into the mainstream book industry, you see there is a lot of buzz around book tours these days.
Okay.
Right? So I would like to know what your take on it is, and how much does marketing play a role in actually making or breaking of a book?
Marketing is what it is.
Yeah.
Without marketing, you cannot really reach out to the reader.
Right.
There is so much of information now than before, and it is growing day by day, that you need to be innovative in your marketing. I think even in the age of social media, book tours, the old traditional way of marketing holds value.
Okay.
Is the reason that it gives an author an opportunity to connect with the reader one on one, and it leaves a lasting impression on the reader. If you Google it out, or if you ask ChatGPT, which is the most effective way of marketing a book, it is positive word of mouth. This is something which has not changed in centuries.
Correct.
Mediums will change.
Right.
There will be following, but what there will be Insta account, there will be Goodreads to market your book. But at the end of the day, if you don't have positive feedbacks, you don't have a positive word.
Correct.
And so book tours are very important, where the author gets an opportunity to connect with the reader, leave a lasting impression, so that the reader can recommend that book, give the book to their friends
Correct.
and relatives. So as book tours are very important, and what we try to do is we try to do it sustainably.
Right.
Is because organizing a lot of book tours is a quite a expensive affair.
Correct.
But if you spread it out, if you engage with organizers,
Right.
if you network with the organizers who are organizing such literary activities,
Correct.
and they have a audience, and if you get the platform,
Correct.
it's a win-win situation
Right.
for the author.
Right.
One has to understand that books offer a very narrow bottom line. By bottom line, I'm saying the profitability.
Right.
So one book cannot think like a movie in terms of promotions.
Correct.
And it is always a catch-22 situation. What comes first? The
Right.
marketing budget comes first, or the best-selling potential of the book is first realized.
Correct.
So we are always in this catch-22 situation as an industry.
Correct. Correct. But then my leading subsequent question would be, does it matter, or is it almost mandatory? Some might argue that the author needs to have a social media following or some sort of presence or whatever. You still feel that a book can stand on its own merit regardless of the author's public image?
No. Book cannot stand on its own merit. I have published in my in the 1,000 books that we have published some books which has great content, but because of some constraints, because of non-availability of the author or something or the other, we have not been able to reach out to the readers
Right.
in a big way.
Right.
But the experience is such that whenever that book gets picked,
Right.
the conversion happens. Is because the content is very strong and very powerful. So in whichever way, social media, through book tours, through book signing events,
Right.
through talks,
Right.
whichever way the
Correct.
author can connect to the reader,
Yeah.
it is required. In social media, what happens is the attention spans are very short. And the book content, to justify the communication of what the book is trying to deliver, that short time wouldn't be justifying.
Right.
So you need to find long format opportunities.
Correct.
Where you can actually deep dive into the content, have a panel discussion, and even long form contents are there on social media, on YouTube.
Yes.
One can explore that.
Correct.
And of course then you can drive audience from Insta through short form reels to your long form content.
Correct.
And that's the funnel that you can follow nowadays.
Correct.
But it is very important that one has to be there on social media.
Right. Looking at it from a macro perspective, what do you feel that are some of the loopholes that maybe the industry hasn't still addressed, and you would like to see it addressed in the coming future?
This is a very important question, a big one. See, one of the biggest challenges today is to read, which has always been a challenge,
Yeah.
is to reach your target reader. And it will always be a challenge.
Correct.
We'll have to find ways and means to overcome that.
Correct.
And then every industry has their challenges, and as an industry we are evolving. There is a support system.
Right.
But I think it is shaping well. And print is still to survive all the onslaught of ebooks, audiobooks.
Correct.
So at certain point there was ebook challenge.
Correct.
We thought that ebook will canalize the print.
Right.
That passed.
Yeah.
Print survived.
Yeah.
Audiobooks came. Now audiobooks are great facilitators of selling print books.
Absolutely.
So I think challenges are momentary, and we keep on winning the challenges, and we keep learning from the experts in the industry,
Correct.
and we keep adopting the technologies
Correct.
to grow.
Right. My last final question, and this is to you as a reader and just a lover of book. Do you prefer audiobooks, or do you prefer ebooks, or do you prefer print books, and why?
Now I prefer audiobooks.
Right.
I forced myself into audiobooks is because there was a span of a year or two where I couldn't get time to read book,
Right.
complete a book,
Right.
and that was troubling me,
Right.
and I was not able to be attentive to audiobooks.
Right.
But then I forced myself into audiobooks. So if people tell me that it is difficult to pay attention to audiobooks at time,
Correct.
so I can do one sitting of audiobook for 3 hours
Oh, wow.
now with practice.
Right.
And that has come because I have forced myself to do it.
Correct.
So I think now audiobooks are savior
Correct.
and helps me read a lot of books.
Do you also feel, I mean, that it's a very personal thing, because I too read books in all formats, audio books, ebooks, print books, but audiobooks also sometimes have that added facility of tonation, isn't it? Because how good a reader or a narrator is, does that hamper
Yeah,
or
yeah.
enrich the experience
True.
of that book?
But again, it is like a compulsion.
Huh.
It doesn't matter because I have to. See, I'm interested in the subject. I want
Correct.
to read. So, Can't Hurt Me is a big book. I wanted to read Goggins for quite some time.
Right.
Then I purchased the audiobook. I didn't purchase the print book. Many
Right.
times I purchase the audio as well as print,
Right.
because then while flipping through the print, I grasp the concepts which are important for self improvement.
Correct.
But otherwise, Can't Hurt Me, that book is great on audio. But then I was listening to autobiography of Benjamin Franklin. Whatever audio formats are available are horrible.
Right.
If someone gets a good audio format, do share it
Do
with
send
me.
it across. Yeah.
I read it out of compulsion.
Right.
Charlie Munger, again,
Yes.
a partner of Warren Buffett. His audiobook is horrible.
Oh, okay.
But out of compulsion, I
Correct.
read it.
Correct. Correct. I'm sure the audience is waiting now to hear what more you have to speak on the publishing industry on the Pune World Book Day at MIT.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
See you there. Thank you
See
so
you.
much for this interview.
Thanks a lot.